France will close the Eiffel Tower and other tourism landmarks in Paris and thousands more security personnel on Saturday to stave off another wave of violent protests in the country over living costs. With protesters from the Yellow Vest movement calling on social media for Act 4, a fourth weekend of protest, Prime Minister Edouard Philippe said 89,000 police nationwide would be deployed to stop a repeat of last Saturday's mayhem across France. About 8,000 of these would be deployed in Paris, where rioters torched cars and looted shops off the famed Champs-Élysées Boulevard, and defaced the Arc de Triomphe with graffiti directed at President Emmanuel Macron. 12 armored vehicles belonging to the gendarmerie would be used, the first time in a French city since 2005 when riots broke out in the capital's suburbs. An official in Macron's office warned that intelligence suggested some protesters intended to come to the capital this Saturday to smash and to kill. The announcement came as France's leading unions, top politicians from across the political spectrum and some Yellow Vest representatives called for calm after last Saturday's rioting. Mr. Macron on Wednesday announced he was scrapping the grain fuel tax hike that sparked the movement, but protesters' demands have now widened to a range of demands, from French workers, retirees and students. The president himself has vanished from public view, dispatching his prime minister to front the crisis. Philippe told the Senate he was open to new measures to help the lowest paid workers, while Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire said he was prepared to accelerate tax cuts for households and that he wanted workers' bonuses to be tax-free. He further said, "I am ready to look at all measures that will help raise the pay of those on the minimum wage without doing excessive damage to our competitiveness and businesses." Yet, 5 days after the worst rioting Central Paris has seen since 1968, all signs are that the government has failed to quell the revolt. 6 First Division football matches have been cancelled. Authorities in Paris ordered dozens of museums, tourism sites, shops and restaurants to close on Saturday, including the Eiffel Tower and Louvre. On Facebook and across social media, protesters called for Act 4. The protests, named after the fluorescent safety jackets French motorists have to keep in their cars, erupted in November over the squeeze on household budgets caused by fuel taxes. Demonstrations swiftly grew into a broad, sometimes violent rebellion against Macron, with no formal leader. Their demands are diverse and include lower taxes, higher salaries, cheaper energy costs, better retirement provisions and even Macron's resignation. A repeat of last Saturday's violence in Paris's city centre would deal a blow to the economy and raise doubts over the government's survival. Subscribe our channel for more updates.